Some of the venues that you've never played before, you play them the first time, you think, oh no, what are we doing here?
You know, we weren't sure what to expect, and we had a cracking night, and we thought, oh God, is this a fluke? And we went back again.
And a well-known Sheffield venue. This is, how many Facebook followers have you got? Towards the end of last year, we lost 12 gigs from the diary of West Street Live.
On the whole, has changed as an atmosphere on the night out.
You get the adverse saying, band needed for Saturday due to cancellation, or bands needed in general going forward. I'm like an idiot, I started taking it to pieces, putting new pickups in. I had a new neck made for it.
Well, was one of my nan's favourite, I should say, and it was the only one that she'd get up and dance with it at the end of the night.
This year I had a bit of success ringing the landline and getting 2 gigs. If it's a song that people like the first time they hear it, then it's a success.
You get a whole list of yeses. You go back to them and they go,
So yes.
that's what you get.
Oh, there is a doctor in the band. I forgot to mention that Andreas has got a
I was going to ask you about that, 'cause I'm sure somebody mentioned it when I'd seen you at Red Lion. Is a scientist?
He's a PhD in physics, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, he just took early retirement, and he always spent one night a week. He's spending a lot of his spare time, so he was playing with other bands. No, he's still researching physics.
Welcome to the Available Bands Both Sides of the Stage podcast. I'm here with Steve Corbett from Dr. Hackenbush. We're going to have a lovely conversation about the Sheffield music scene, live music in general, and what it takes, you know, behind the scenes to be in a rock band. So, Steve, welcome.
Thanks for the invitation. Nice to be here.
Hey, very welcome. Very welcome. So, I'm very familiar with Dr. Hackenbush from the early or so mid 2000s with the West Street Live.
Right. Yeah,
Now, for anybody that's not discovered Dr. Hackenbush or been to seeing you before, can you describe a little bit about your band?
Yeah, we play a mixture of covers, rock, pop, indie, you name it, classic rock. We try not to style ourselves in a certain way. We don't present ourselves in a certain way, because on an average night you've got different people that like different things in the audience.
Brilliant. Well, I've recently seen you up at Red Lion in Gleedless.
Right. Yeah.
And I think you're a 4-piece band.
Yeah, we are. We're
You're a
at
4-piece
the
band.
moment now. Yeah.
And you had a chap on the vocal as
Gareth. Or Gaz to his mother.
Yeah. So Gaz, was he the original vocalist?
He was actually, apart from a little bit of chopping and changing right in the early days before we got settled on a lineup. Gaz has been with us since 2012.
2012.
Day one, yeah.
Brilliant. So is it 2012? Just take me back to when Dr. Hackenbush started, and you know, so how did the band come about?
Yeah, I think we were all sort of in between bands, and there was a gentleman called Ian Pegg. He fancied sort of broadening his musical horizons. He played rhythm guitar, and he managed to get in touch with me. He'd already got in touch with Mark Whitworth, the bass player.
Okay.
Because they actually lived quite near together in Hoyland at the time. I called Andreas, the drummer that was my first ever drummer and my first ever gig 30 years ago.
Brilliant.
And he said, okay, let's get together. So the 4 of us got together, no vocalist at that point, and it seemed to go all right. Called Andreas, do you fancy carrying on and having another rehearsal and keep going? He says, yeah. I thought he might say no, but he said, yeah. So we sort of gradually took it from there.
And were you doing original music at the time, or did you solely purposely set out to do covers?
I wouldn't know how to write a song, to be honest.
Would you know?
I'd either forget it the following morning, or it'd sound exactly like something else. Bells or something.
I think that's the process of making music, to be fair. I think a lot of these artists that go into the studio, they don't know what they're going to come out with.
No, they don't. They could rip something off and maybe turn it around a little bit, you know, that kind of thing.
I think there was a good example of that is How Soon Is Now by the Smiths.
Oh, yeah,
I think they were all off it so much that they could never recreate that guitar sound.
Quite a mixture of different sounds into that.
Yeah, it is.
Tremolo slide. Yeah, at that point, me and Andy had played a lot of ZZ Top in the past. We played in a ZZ Top, not tribute band, but a specialist band. And so we played a bit of ZZ Top, a bit of Quo, Caroline, that kind of stuff. And we gradually built it from there and started looking for a singer. In fact, it was at Atlas, at Attic that we've just been talking about, that Gas came on board. And that'll be 2012. So from that point, we were sort of building it up.
Yeah. So the Attic recording studios or rehearsal studios in Sheffield, is renowned for the notoriously high steps. They don't call it the Attic for nothing, do they?
It's a good title. You have to stop for oxygen on the way up. Well, I do anyway.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I've spent many a time rehearsing there with bands myself, and you know, I think in Sheffield, in general, I mean, I'm specifically talking about Sheffield because that's where we're based, and there's been a vibrant music scene for years and years. Absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, I discovered yourself on the West Street Live circuit. I think whenever I had a night off playing with my band Indie Rocks at the time, I'd go in there for a night out and you were on.
Right, once a month anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've got a very memorable band. I think some bands you can go in, you can go see them and you can quickly forget about them. But the name stuck out to me, Dr. Hackenbush. So I want to ask you, where did the name actually come from?
I think I thought of it, and it's one of those neutral names.
Yeah.
It doesn't suggest flames, burning guitars, gravestones and skulls and things. It's a neutral name, and it's got a link to a film.
Okay.
Which in turn has got a link to a Queen album.
Right.
So you'll be able to provide a prize if anybody can let us know.
Right, okay, so there's going to be a prize if anybody can get that tedious link, would you call it?
Dr. Hackenbush to Queen.
Dr. Hackenbush to Queen, right, okay, so I'm completely out of the picture with that one.
Shall I explain?
You can, well, do you want to explain, or do you want to let people have a guess and...
Well, if they've all got Google or any well-known search engines, they'll probably find it straight away.
Okay, we'll go for it.
The character was a vet in a comedy film called A Day at the Races.
Okay.
And there was a Queen album called A Day at the Races.
Very good.
So that's the
I like it. And do you play any Queen?
We play a crazy little thing called Love. Yeah,
brilliant.
I think they used to Radio Gaga at one bit, but you find out along the way that some songs don't go down as well as others.
Yeah.
So that got dropped.
Know that all too well. And when it comes to picking songs, and you mentioned that you kind of pick a good variety of songs.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular, although you do a variety, do you have a set style of songs that you go for? Is there any particular process in how you pick songs?
That's one of the things. I mean, we've all got sort of favourites that we'd like to bring in. A, they've got to be a single at some point. B, you'd expect people to know them. C, we'll like to play them. But Gaz has got a bit of a vocalist, Gaz Hope. He's got a bit of a talent for finding a cover version on YouTube of a song that suits us.
Yeah.
But I can't do that because if I start off with a title like "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," I'd never get anywhere. I'd just cross it out. But he'll find things like that. "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," "You Spin Me Round and Round," and he'll find a version that suits us. What's got an ending to it, not just a fade. And
it can really get them high notes, can't it, with the AC/DC?
It can. He's really versatile.
Really versatile.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And so somebody like Mark will be picking the indie ones, Oasis, Shed 7, one or two bands like that.
Yeah, so you like your Britpop sort of style.
The Britpop style. So that's where we get the sort of width of material. Yeah.
Brilliant. And tell me a little bit more about your drummer as well, because I've noticed he wears the cans as well while he's drumming, which is, it's not very common, even though we should be protecting his hearing. Is it to protect his hearing, or, It's
just to protect his hearing.
Or does he wear a click, no?
It's just to protect his hearing.
Brilliant.
Pure and simple. He used to have some moulded earplugs like I've got, and I think he lost them one at a time, a few times, and stopped wearing them. So he just wears the cans. Yeah.
I think starting out, I started out as a drummer in a marching band, and sort of like early 2000s. So like I started in 2001. and I probably finished in 2014. That was my last year I ever did drumming on a drum line type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But the hearing protection were never a forward thing. I think more so now than ever. We really struggle with his hearing, and I'm constantly. I think I didn't realise until COVID came along and everyone were wearing masks that I couldn't lip read.
Right, yeah.
So I would read. I think playing in bands, it's important to protect your hearing.
It is. I mean, anybody listening that's below the age of about 40, 30, wear ear protection. I've got tinnitus and things like that. I mean, I wear earplugs, but you can't go backwards, can you? You can stop it getting worse, but you can't go backwards.
You can't go backwards. There's only one way it's gonna go, and that's
it's gonna get worse,
worse and worse. And I think sometimes the best part of doing a gig is getting in your car on your way home and driving in silence.
Yeah.
And you can still hear the noise ringing.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes if I've not worn my earplugs, like at West Street Live, it's loud on stage with monitoring and everything. I can hear every single note I play perfect, every single note of a chord. And then as the night goes on, it seems to get a little bit duller and it doesn't sound quite good. Is it? You don't need to turn the treble up or what? And then I go outside and my ears are screaming. It's the fact that my ears have gone off, really,
Our drummer does that, so we'll do a sound check, it'll be absolutely perfect, and then 2 or 3 songs in, he's like, I can't hear this and I can't hear that, and that's exactly what it is. I think it's just your ears.
His ears have gone off.
They've just gone. So I think you've developed a strong reputation on the Sheffield live music scene throughout the years. Through your dynamic performances and your variety of songs that you choose. But I also think that the Sheffield music scene has changed over the years, and it's a lot more difficult to get gigs.
That's true.
How would you say that you've adapted over the years to keep yourselves, busy? Because a busy band is a happy band.
Sure, yes. You're always looking for new venues, really, aren't you? I usually, I'll see a gig advertised and I'll sort of pick on a venue and say, I fancy getting in there. A lot of the venues in Sheffield are original band venues, which is fine, more power to them. But towards the end of last year, we lost 12 gigs from the diary for West Street Live. We had other places cancelled. Illnesses in the band, a bad back, a bad throat,
and it starts whittling down.
We had to really pick things up for this year, and I contacted 29 or 30 places, and I managed to get in a few new ones. Red Lion being one.
Red Lion, cracking little venue actually.
But you never know beforehand where it's going to be like. It's spit and sawdust or what.
You don't. We were surprised actually the first time we played there, and we weren't sure what to expect, and we had a cracking night, and we thought, oh God, is this a fluke? And we went back again, and it was just as good second time round as it were first time, and we've really enjoyed cracking on in there.
We've got a few new Facebook followers, so people did like us, at the time.
Good, and that's what it's all about. You pick people up as you go along, don't you? And
true.
I think if you've been at it for, Facebook, would you say 15 to 20 years?
Something like that, yeah.
And before that, how did you get on? It was word of mouth.
I know somebody at a well-known Sheffield venue that says, how many Facebook followers have you got? If it was 100 and they all came, that'd be great. But we're on about 400 and something, and 7% live in Poland. Well, I forgot to mention that Dr. Hackenbush is a Polish heavy metal band.
Right.
They are signed to a label in Poland.
Brilliant.
So every now and again we'll get a follower that's obviously Polish that made a mistake. So
we'll not bring royalties up then. We don't get any.
So they'll either disappear or they stay on board as one of our baffled Polish followers.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I think when you start looking into bands, first thing you do is obviously you'll have a little scroll and see what you can see. Is there any footage or something? Like I say, back then that weren't around, so you'd rely on somebody saying, "Oh, I've seen this fantastic band at such and such club," And next time they come round, you'd all get together and go.
Yeah, true. Yeah, word gets round. And the other way, if you wanted to book a venue, you get the yellow pages out and ring the landline. And 9 times out of 10, you'd be in that way. Whereas now, you've either got to email, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. Sometimes a landline. This year I had a bit of success ringing a landline and getting 2 gigs, which is very unusual.
Well, I think emails are at a bit of a loss. I think it's a very easy way to ignore an email.
Yeah, that's a bit of true.
But I think in this day and age, maybe face-to-face is probably the most effective.
Yeah, I agree with
Just
that.
going in, introducing yourself, saying, look, with this band, this is what we do. You know, we can bring such and such with us if you're close by, and you know, take a chance on us really. And
you say we've played here, we've played there, and had repeat bookings and what have you. I mean, viewers can't see this, but probably 29 or 30 venues I rang last autumn. Whether I rang, messaged, emailed, sent a flyer, or took a flyer.
Brilliant. So you're the organiser of the band?
Yeah, it's sort of ended up that way. Yeah. Well, in the Loughborough area, Mark Whitworth, for professional reasons, moved to Loughborough, and it's a fantastic music scene down there. And there's 2 pubs that we play quite regularly, and that's the Three Nuns and the White Hart. And it's a great music scene. We've made some great mates down there.
Mm-hmm.
And if we forget any speaker cables, which I have done, or forget a kick drum pedal, which Andreas has done,
Yep.
they'll usually rustle something up and lend them to us.
Brilliant. Oh, that's what you want at the end of the day. So, you know, do you sort of lean into the scene, mix with other bands and that sort of thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, Mark sees more of those guys than me because with it being Loughborough, it's just over an hour away. But one of the guys, bless him, has played drums with us when Andreas had an operation on his back last year. And he's also been he's been to vocals with us at 2 gigs.
Oh, brilliant.
31st at Sitwell this month and the 1st of August, private party in Loughborough.
At Sitwell in Rotherham?
In Whiston, yeah.
Whiston, Rotherham, yeah. I've heard it's pretty good in there, actually.
Well, that was a phone call and two holes in one, 2 gigs. So
Brilliant.
Doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very often. No. Is there anything in particular that you do as a band to prepare for different type of gigs? Whether it be a pub, you play festivals, weddings, birthdays, that sort of thing?
If it's something like a party, a birthday or a wedding, we'll put Tiger Feet in or something like that. There's a couple of ABBA that we do. We'll play them in our style, so the rocky songs are the way we play them anyway. So I think Tiger Feet's one of the obvious ones that get brought in off the subs bench, you know.
Great song. That's one of my nan's favourites. Well, was one of my nan's favourites, I should say. And it was the only one that she'd get up and dance with it at the end of the night. If that didn't come on, she weren't up dancing.
All right, yeah.
But then once she were up, she were up.
Well, speaking of which, we sometimes put Wooly Bully in. That gets them
Bully.
dancing.
Wowzers. Yeah, that's going back, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The old rock and roll days, is it?
Yeah. Well, we do a couple of rock and rollers. We do Great Balls of Fire. We do Jailhouse Rock, which ZZ Top always did do.
Right.
So I suggested that one.
So it weren't just an Elvis song.
No, it weren't. No, it were originally, but to me, it's ZZ Top.
Right. Okay. So you're sort of more leaning into your classic rock and
we've done Guns N' Roses.
A bit of grit in the guitars.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I think that's the reason that people don't know what to expect. You know, they look at us and think, oh, they're not got leather jackets on. What are they going to do? You know?
Yeah. So how important has the music scene been into the growth of the band, and sort of, you know, how has it changed for you over the years?
I think expanding into the Loughborough area, or Loughborough 2 pubs, I think we're there 5 times this year, something like that. So that's sort of the biggest change. Plus the venues that have disappeared. You're always looking for new venues. I mean, what was the one on Devonshire Square? Devonshire Green?
The green rooms?
Big plate glass windows it's got.
Oh, Frog and Parrot?
I can't remember the name. It's got like a mezzanine, really brilliant atmosphere.
The Hop?
That was it, yeah.
The Hop?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Shut now. It changed hands and then it's shut. So you sort of constantly chasing missing venues, really, gaps in the diary.
There does seem to be a shortage of venues in Sheffield, but I think at the same time there is some up and coming venues more suited to originals, may I add, than covers.
True.
But I think Sheffield on the whole has changed as an atmosphere on the night out. Well, as you knew going out down West Street, if you wanted live music, there'd be at least 2 or 3 places within that stretch that'd have music on. You'd start at the Walkabout, then you'd go across the road, Maida Vale, and then you'd have a wander up to West Street Live, and you'd probably finish in West Street Live, to be fair. But it doesn't seem to have that same vibe to a night out in Sheffield.
No, we don't.
I'm talking like I go out every week. I don't. But I think that's the reason why I don't go out anymore, because there isn't that much to lean on anymore. From a cover band point of view, you want to hear songs that you're familiar with, you can have a dance to, and I think midweek is probably better to discover bands that are playing original. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe. And the other thing with covers as well as originals, if it's a song that people like the first time they hear it, then it's a success. So sometimes you can try one that you don't expect that people might like. So we once got asked to play a Sweet Child of Mine at a venue that we played quite a bit in the day. There's now a block of flats, and we got basically just one person clapping at the end of it. So we didn't do that again. So, but yeah, I mean, original wise, there are still songs that people like, and people should be out more listening.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, having been in both types of bands, in being originals and covers, I've always done covers, and I think it's just through pure enjoyment of playing with no expectation, and playing for the love of playing your instrument.
Yeah. Some of the songs we picked because we like play it. But one bit we were doing with your rhythm stick, and that took some perfecting, especially on the bass, if you listen to it. And it's one of those that we're really perfected and really proud of ourselves. It didn't go down very well, so we dropped it.
It's usually the case. You put all that hard work into learning a song, it doesn't land, and then you're dropping it quicker than...
Something like Highway to Hell, you can play that forever.
That's right. So, I want to know, is there anything that you've had to learn the hard way being in the band? Because a lot of it is trial and error, and you can get some weird and wonderful gigs along the way. Is there anything that you've really had to think, I'm not doing that again?
Yeah, some of the venues that you've never played before, you play them the first time, you think, oh no, what are we doing here, kind of thing. I suppose if we'd been booked for 2 gigs, we'd probably do the second one, but we wouldn't pursue it.
Would you do that out of principle, though, or would you do that?
I think just for the sake of not losing a gig, we'd struggle,
Yeah.
We played one in the Chesterfield area again this year. We played there last year, and there were hardly anybody in.
Really?
So whether we go for that or whether they asked us and paid us decent money, we'd do it again.
Is that a sign of the times, do you think?
Yeah, I think it possibly is. Yeah, last year we got a wedding lined up, and some of the people that were booking us for the wedding came to see us. Whereas this year, tumbleweeds kind of thing.
Okay, so that leads me up to what's coming up for Dr. Hackenbush. Where can we see you next? What's your...
Well, it's like the same as it was at the end of last year. It's going to be just finding new places. If anybody out there wants to book us, anybody can help us book, any agents or whatever, because the booking side of things and the searching for gigs is getting more and more like hard work.
It is. You've got to go back to these analogue old ways, I think. You've got to ring people up, you've got to get your foot in the door.
Yeah. Some places I've had my foot in the door a couple of times and dropped flyers in. I've contacted them through Facebook Messenger, found out the person that does the booking, contacted them.
Yeah.
And I won't name it, but after all that, they rang us with 2 cancellations on a Saturday morning. twice. The wrong is twice. Saturday morning cancellation that night, and again. So the frustration was we couldn't do it. So, all right, they've asked us.
Yeah, they've asked you, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah,
I think.
Right,
Yeah. So it is very, very difficult to get gigs these days, and
it is.
I think for anybody sort of watching this that you don't play in a band or you're in a venue. Bands just want gigs. They just want to play.
You get the adverts saying band needed for Saturday due to cancellation, or bands needed in general going forward, and you just don't get a reply from them.
No, it's almost like a cry for attention. I see that a lot. It's like, I need a band. Who's about? Who's playing? Who's available?
So
and
texting everybody.
Yeah. Can you do this one on in 2 weeks? You get a whole list of yeses. You go back to them. They go
Silence.
That's what you get, quite literally. Right, okay, so I'm going to wrap things up, I think, today. Thanks for coming on, Steve.
Very good, thanks for speaking to me.
No, you're very welcome. But before we go, I want to do a little fast fire. So, I've got 5 questions here. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, so I'll have some little fun with this. So, is there a song that you wish you had written?
Let's think. Caroline.
Sorry?
Caroline. Status Quo.
Nice. Okay, this one might divide a room. This one, Gibson or Fender?
I've got more Gibsons than the Fenders, so Gibson.
Gibson, nice. One item that you would take with you if you were stuck on a desert island?
One of my guitars, probably my Strat, because that goes most places with me.
Nice.
It's a bit of a parts caster.
Tell me a little bit more about your Strat. I know it's fast fire, but tell me a little bit more about your Strat. Is it a collectible? Is it something that you've had for a long time?
In the mid-80s I bought a Japanese vintage Strat. I'm like an idiot, I started taking it to pieces, putting new pickups in. I had a new neck made for it, which meant I got a neck spare. Bought a body and sort of built a guitar out of that, and then realised not long ago how much a JV Strat is worth.
Oh.
So I got part of one.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Brilliant. So if you could sum up Dr. Hackenbush with one word.
Versatile.
Versatile. Love that. We've spoke about versatility all the way through this. And a piece of advice for any young musician starting out.
Keep practicing, even if it just means learning songs, blues songs, simple songs. Just keep playing, just keep practicing.
Wise words. Very wise words. Well, thanks for coming on, Steve. If you want to catch Dr. Hackenbush, where's your next gig, sorry?
It's the Courtyard in Swinton on the 25th. So that's Swinton, South Yorkshire. People have said, oh, come and see you. Lancashire? No. South Yorkshire. And the week after at Sitwell Arms in Wiston, Rotherham on the 31st of Friday.
So on the 31st of July, you can catch Dr. Hackenbush, you can catch Steve and the boys. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much.
All right, cheers. So also, I'm gonna get around to this. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and share us and drop us a follow and subscribe and do whatever you need to do on social media these days. We're going to get better at this. We're going to keep having conversations about music and the industry. We've been Available Bands, both sides of the stage. I'm Dan, this is Steve. Thanks very much.
Good night.
Cheers.